Hilariously enough, the HGO curse wouldn't have struck if we just did the episode.
Hold on a second, guys. They didn't upload. We'll just pause the news for a week. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the HGO podcast. I'm your host for today, Ethan, and joining me, as always, are my good friends, Kyle and Hunter. Hey, guys. How you doing?
I'm doing just swell.
Yeah, it's been a while. We missed last week. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
That was unfortunate. Should we explain ourselves? I feel like we should. I feel like we should slightly explain ourselves, because we did on Twitter.
Yeah.
But not everybody,
go for
the
it.
majority of us don't. Actually, majority of people don't follow us on Twitter. But yeah, we're here because Friday, Kyle had plans. Saturday, we were ready to record. We came 2 hours early. We pissed about for 2 hours, and then my internet died all night, so that was a failure. And then Sunday, what was it? Oh, Hunter was running late because he had a meal. So it was like
Hunter
each
was
day.
running late, and I was starting to get sick.
Yeah, because you were ill as well.
Audience, this whole past week I've been dealing with COVID, so
yeah.
It's been fun. Monday, I guess to like give a quick recap, Monday was like when I first was like, okay, I can't go into work today. This is just going to be miserable. Took a test, it came back negative. Tuesday was the worst day easily. I woke up super dizzy. Ethan, I don't know if you want to go to single cam for this, but
I have.
I passed. You have? I passed out in the bathroom. I don't know if you can see this, but
Oh, God, yeah.
I passed out when I was in the bathroom after I woke up, and like I don't know what happened because I blacked out, and I must have like hit my head on something and just like got a huge scar on my nose now. So that's dope.
That's okay, your glasses cover it up most of the time.
Yeah, dude. And also like now it just gave me more incentive to do that squall costume for Halloween this year.
That's the spirit.
Ah, yes. The spitting image.
Yeah.
You
But no,
telling me I can't, dude.
Yeah.
No, do whatever you want. I'm just saying, the scar on your nose being the deciding factor when his scar goes like diagonally across his face.
Hey, dude,
funny.
baby steps.
It's all good. It's all good. But no, glad to see that you're doing better, and glad that the pass out was the worst of it. But yeah, it's been a crazy week, you know. So yeah, thank you for bearing with us. Thank you, audio listeners who are out there, for not going too crazy that we left. You did get a spoiler cast, so
Yeah, if you've played
you go.
Horizon Forbidden West, go check it out.
yeah. And then there's also the Pokemon Legends Arceus review that's up right now on YouTube. Both that and the short, so you can go check those out too. But we should be back to regular scheduled podcasts. That was just a one-off, really, just because of all the bad luck, like converging. Can't even speak English apparently. Converging into one short amount of time. So hey, but there you
Pretty
go.
much like everything that could have gone wrong for us with how we record went wrong.
Oh yeah, 100%.
It's the joys of doing this all remote.
It was
and
not
not
all
being
week.
in the same area.
Yeah, it was not a week. It was not a week. But yeah, other than that, we've got a lot of cool stuff to talk about, or lame stuff, depending on how you feel about it. We'll talk about everything, obviously. Chrono
Disappointing
Cross, The
stuff.
Radical Dreamers came out, and Kyle is not very happy with it, so we'll talk about that in a little bit. We have got the really sad news of the passing of a developer who made an indie game that was quite well liked, called Coffee Talk, and the weird kind of story that we have of how Hunter started playing that game literally within the span of a week before. It was kind of crazy. So we're going to talk all about that and talk about that game. So we'll get into that. The DNF Duel had another beta, so Kyle and Hunter have played that because I hate fighting games. That's genuinely the reason. Kyle's like, do you want to play? And I'm like, no, thank you. So we'll talk about that. Hunter's played the Medium finally, so we've got that. And then we've got a whole list of potential things that we can talk about if we run out of time, including... Do we want to talk about PS Plus? We'll see. We'll see if we have time for it. If not, I can always talk about my Elden Ring addiction or something like that. It's all good. But yeah, if you didn't know, this is a HGO podcast every week. We come and talk to you about everything we love in the world of gaming. You can find us on podcast by searching for Hot Gamers Only or going to youtube.com/Hot Gamers Only, where you can find us each and every Monday. And yeah, let's get into it. Let's start with Chrono Cross, Kyle, because you were so happy when this was announced just a few months ago. I remember seeing that little
February.
That spark in your eye. I have not seen anything like it.
That was the happiest he was during that whole direct.
That was the same direct that showed Xenoblade 3, by the way.
And Kyle was like, I'm winning. I'm winning.
We knew Xenoblade 3 was coming at some point. Chrono Cross came right out of nowhere, and I'm like, I love this video game so much. And I was thinking about this like coming up to release date. Like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to be objective with this on the podcast. Fortunately, Square Enix was left in charge of doing the port, and it sucks shit. So...
It's great, right?
I don't know what
nothing
Square Enix's
but objectivity
is.
from HGO.
I don't know what Square Enix's problem is, but they cannot port PS1 games.
They just can't.
I don't know why.
The Final Fantasy IX port is fine, and
yeah, but that's the thing, is they're fine. That's the thing.
Serviceable, but like you don't have analog control in that game.
Everything is serviceable.
It's all D-pad movement.
Nah.
Hunter's like, I don't care. But no,
apparently
it is true,
didn't
though.
traumatize me enough to stick.
I mean, Square Enix ports have always been bare bones. I mean, think about it. Even the final mixes for Kingdom Hearts, even though that's great, we got the final mixes, right? We got them over here in the West. It wasn't that great a job. Like they just moved them on. They didn't do anything exceptional with them. As far as I'm concerned, they're still very much all the problems that are there. I'm
just thinking about when they ported 1.5 and 2.5 from PS3 to PS4, and everything kept breaking in every update they did.
Oh, yeah, they were a mess, weren't they?
Yeah, they were awful.
They were.
They'd patch other things, and then whole new problems would show up, and we're like, how did you do this?
And how broken they were as well.
Do you know how you do that, Square Enix?
They were broken on Xbox when they came to Xbox. They were broken on PC when they came to PC. They probably would have been broken on Switch too if they didn't even fucking try. Like, if they tried, maybe.
I'm pretty sure when they came to Xbox at first, they still had the PlayStation buttons in the game instead of the Xbox buttons. But anyways, we're here to talk about the new failure of Square Enix.
Okay, so for those who are like me, for those who are unaware about Chrono Cross in general, what is Chrono Cross, and why in particular were you so excited for the Radical Dreamers component of this game, right? Because I feel like that was the main drawing point for people who are already fans of Chrono Cross to get this new version.
So Chrono Cross is pretty much the spiritual successor to Trigger in one regard. The two are pretty disconnected, but they are also, it's like Xenoblade 1 and 2 where they're disconnected, but then they connect to each other back at the end.
To a point, yeah, to an extent.
To a point, yeah. But the other thing that's included, it's a bundle, and it's also including a game called Radical Dreamers, which was never released outside of Japan. It was Super Famicom exclusive as like a Satellaview add-on download game. That's just absolutely wild, and it's a text-based adventure game, and I honestly do have to commend Square Enix for putting this game in this collection, because something like that could just be so easily lost to history, where you could only download it for X amount of time during this point in the day back in 1995 or whatever it came out,
when everyone had the internet. It is weird though, because I didn't even realize that it was a separate game, to be honest, because I obviously heard it was it never came out of the East, right? It was stuck in Japan forever. And I was like, oh cool, is it did they do a final mix? Did they do an improvement? But this was an entirely different game that basically fans didn't even see for the best part of 2 decades, nearly 3 decades, nearly. Jeez,
it's a different game, but the story in that game was reused in Chrono Cross for a section of it. So we did get it by technicality, but now we have the real thing.
Okay, that makes sense. So obviously, Square Enix is not really on a good track record this year. Let's be real, okay? They have swung many times, and I feel like they've missed nearly all of them. I think the only
hit they've had really is triangle strategy.
yeah, and maybe some people found enjoyment in Strangers of Paradise. It wasn't the best Final Fantasy release ever, but you know, some people did enjoy the gameplay.
It was
apparently,
interesting
or the
enough.
story. Yeah, I would not stick it in the same category as Babylon's Fall.
Yeah.
No, that's
So
fair.
can't complain, but seems to be following this track record of Chocobo GP, of Babylon's Fall, of what the fuck is Square Enix doing right now? So, what the fuck is up with this port, Cal? Why is it so apparently horrendous that even I've heard about how bad it is? As someone that doesn't even care about Chrono Cross, even I've heard from the grapevine of how terrible this port is.
So, from my playthrough I've put in 2 hours to this game because that's really all I could manage to do. There are 3 big issues with the game. First is that the game has really bad input delay, and I mean, like, that's fine. It's a turn-based RPG, whatever. Second,
I mean, to be fair, let's not excuse them for this, because we gave Nintendo the exact same shit about 8 months ago with N64 Online, right? Let's not give them this.
Yeah,
It's stupid. It's a PS1 game. It shouldn't fucking and it shouldn't be like this. It should
Can
not
you
be that
imagine
hard.
how heartbreaking it would be to be selecting like one spell and your input didn't go through and suddenly you healed the thing or something?
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
that
like
sucked.
we've been emulating PS1 games for decades. I remember being in high school and being able to very easily emulate N64 and PS1. Why can't Square in 2022 on a PS4? Why? It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't. I don't get it.
yeah, I have no idea, dude. And I'm like, my PS4 controller's kind of screwed up, where I have to keep it plugged into the console to even like work well.
Oh god.
So like,
Oh no.
you know, I'm
It's the
connected
dying
like
gasp.
directly to the console. Dude, Hunter, you should have seen me play Resident Evil 2. Leon was shooting bullets for no reason. My
Oh,
right
no.
trigger's broken.
It might be, Kyle, it might be time to get a new controller, bud. It might be time.
Might be
Just-
time to get a PS5, dude.
That's the reason. That's out of all the things. Game, no. Controller, okay. If I'm getting a new controller, I might as well get the UFO while I'm at it. I'll need it for something eventually. Final Fantasy 16 can't be too far away.
How bad could Final Fantasy 16 be?
Yeah. Yoshi, if Yoshi P fails, dude, the whole
Yoshi
franchise,
P.
just cancel the franchise. If he fails,
Yeah, dude.
then just
There
cancel,
is
because
no more hope.
no one's going to make a new good Final Fantasy game if he can't. So no pressure, Yoshi, but you know, it's all up to you. But yeah, so the input delay is terrible. It just seems like a god awful port, to be honest. It's like
Yeah.
I just don't get it. I genuinely
Yeah.
don't, because it's like, Hunter, you got your hand up. Do you want?
What were the other 2 things? You said there
The
were
other
3
one-
things,
Oh,
and
yes,
we
that's
kinda
right.
cut you
Yeah.
off.
Sorry.
The other one is audio delay is just like atrocious. It's delayed by like a couple seconds. So it's
Mhm.
enough to be noticeable, where you'd be moving down in menus and then only like after a few seconds the little twink noise would play.
That would be
So it's
that'd be the
just-
killer for me. That'd be the killer.
It's fine, but like it's
No,
workable,
I hate-
but it's annoying.
I hate delayed audio. It genuinely, that is like the bane of my existence.
I don't like it either.
Yeah.
It's awful. Even if it's just slightly off and I notice it, it just kills like anything for me. It
And
just
finally,
it just
like
does it.
finally the frame rate is just
It's a PS1 game. How?
I don't even have words. How do you fuck up a PS1 game this badly and turn it into slideshow quality? That's why I've only put 2 hours into the game, because it was giving me a headache to play.
Does 2 hours include Radical Dreamers, or are you counting that as separate?
I didn't touch Radical Dreamers.
Oh, you didn't even touch it.
No.
You were just that
a tech-
disappointed.
It's a text-based adventure, Ethan. I don't want to play that. That sounds boring.
Okay,
It's cool that we have it, but it doesn't change the fact that the game sounds boring.
fair enough.
I want to play the fun game with the good music,
Okay, fair.
not the silly game with you go down the hallway, a monster gets in your way.
No, you're selling it.
You fight monster.
You're selling it real hard, dude. You're selling it real hard. But yeah, I don't know. It just Square. Is this the trajectory that Square's on this year? Is this what we just look to when they release whatever they release yet, like whatever they have yet to release? Because when's Forspoken? October.
Yeah,
they could genuinely. It's the start of the physical year, and this is how bad it is. We still have Forspoken to go. We might have a Kingdom Hearts still to come in this physical year. Is this just going to be the tragedy year? Like, is this it? Is this what we do? We just cry? I don't know. Hunter's heart was broken with Babylon's Fall, and then everyone else's heart gets broken along the way. Is this how it is?
At least I'm not alone anymore.
Square Enix slowly going back to how they were in the PS3 era.
But genuinely, it's crazy because we've literally just come off of them doing 7 Remake and not fucking that up, and
yeah,
Kingdom Hearts 3 being genuinely more better than people were probably expecting it to be, even though if you were disappointed, it was better than people thought we were going to get another Dream Drop. And it's like...
You at least felt something from KH3, no matter what side of the fence you stood on.
Exactly. But no, it's just a shame, really, because it's like Chrono Cross...
It is. It's
Chrono
like
Cross is just special.
This was Chrono Cross's second chance. It's always lived in the shadow of its big brother Chrono Trigger, and it's always hurt my heart because Chrono Cross is a great game, and now we just have a shitty port that's probably going to get like 1 update patch, and then no, they're never going to care again.
And it sucks because it sucks because there's no reason for them to have done this, because with Final Fantasy I would at least be like, okay, I can see why they did this, because Final Fantasy is Final Fantasy. They can cash grab that. I can see even from an evil corporate standpoint. Chrono Cross, like, the only people that are buying Chrono Cross are diehard JRPG fans, genuinely. Or people who are already JRPG fans and are willing to finally have an accessible way to play it. And it's just sucks because it's like, you've done no one a service here. This was basically you doing something for the fans, essentially. And you've done nothing. You've just fucked it up.
Like, I would have loved to be able to come onto this show and be like, yes, guys, please try Chrono Cross. Chrono Cross itself is a fantastic game. It's such an accessible JRPG. There's no grinding involved. There's no levels. You don't even need to fight enemies. You level up as you beat bosses and your elemental skill grid increases. It works so perfectly. The music's fantastic. It tells a compelling enough story. And I would love to just come on this show and be like, yes, this game's great. You guys should give it another try if you tried it before, but thought it wasn't as good as Trigger. Try it with a different mentality. But no, we just got a bad port that's like borderline unplayable because of how bad the frame rate is. And it's like, why? It
just sucks, man. It genuinely does. And it's like, I'm even upset because it's like, even as someone who didn't want to play it, because like, I know how much Chrono Cross means to people, because I've heard you talk about it so much, and I've heard other people talk about it so much. It just fucking sucks, because like I say, no one wins here, not even Square, because they're not even going to make that much money off it. It's like, no one's fucking won here. You've done nothing but damage, and it's just like
it's like that skit from the Eric Andre show where he shoots the guy in the chair, and he's just like, why would they do that to him?
Yeah, basically.
Square Enix just shooting the Chrono series, and be like, why would the fans not buy our game?
Yeah,
like
no clue. It sucks. So yeah,
it just hurts, dude.
Stay away from Chrono Cross Radical Dreamers for now, at least. If it does get fixed, I'm sure
I'll be screaming about it on Twitter.
Yeah, and we'll probably mention it on the podcast, so keep up to date with us here if you want to know if that game ever gets fixed, because I'm sure we'll all let you know. But yeah, just right now, just stay away. Just stay away. As simple as that, really.
Yeah.
Stay away.
Just be gone. Be gone. Right. Anyway, with that out of the way, let's talk about this whole coffee talk scenario from one depressing subject to another. No, let's just get the depression out of the way, and then we'll talk about some more positive topics later. But yeah.
So yeah, I started playing Coffee Talk, and like I had beaten Horizon like 4 days before Ghostwire Tokyo was gonna come out. So I had like 2 days of nothing to do in between. So I started Coffee Talk because I bought it while it was on sale on the PSN way back and just never got the chance to play it. And I'd always been kind of interested because its premise is, oh, you run a coffee shop and give wacky characters some drinks. I played a game called Valhalla Cyberpunk Bartending Action a couple years ago. That was the same premise, except
that is a collection of words.
That was the same premise, except its setting was, dystopian future, and you serve them alcohol instead of coffee. But, yeah. So I played that, and then like the next week, the creator passed away, and I was like, "What? No, it's not cool."
It genuinely, it's like it's one of those weird things because it was like I remember seeing it trending, and the reason that it crossed into my head initially was I swear I saw Hunter playing that game like literally yesterday when it happened, and I was like, "That is crazy!" Like I was like, "God, that's." So shitty because it's like it's a weird thing, right? Like death in the games industry is a kind of weird thing because the games industry is that kind of new that you've not really had
there aren't that many
you've not had really like you don't hear much about it, right? You genuinely don't. You'll hear about devs and stuff like that. You'll hear about like some people from some certain dev studios and stuff like that, but you won't hear about like an indie darling like developer, or you won't hear about like big franchise creator people. Like this isn't like this is weird. So it's like when I see it, I'm like, what the like you're just kind of like, that sucks, dude. That's like genuinely sucks.
Dude had another game on the way too, like After Love EP, I believe is what it's called. So it sucks that they've got to finish that without him. And man,
because they also have an episode, the second episode as well for Coffee Talk as well. Apparently,
yeah. There's a 2 coming at some point, and yeah, Steam was nice, and they had a little sale that went towards helping out the guy's family.
Yeah,
it's done now. If we had talked about this, last week when we were going to, I think it might have still been happening, but yeah. Coffee Talk's a good game, though. If you need, like, something that's chill and got, like, fun characters and cool music, give it a look.
Yeah. I genuinely might, because it's like, looking at the game, it does look like it's my kind of game.
Seattle, but, like, a fantasy land with, like, orcs and vampires and werewolves and stuff, too. It's neat.
Yeah, man. It sucks, man. So yeah, I'm like, he wasn't even that old either. He was only like 32.
No, yeah.
It's like
way too soon.
Yeah, man. It's way too soon, but no. Yeah, heart goes out to like his family and all of that stuff because it's like, it sucks, man. Because it was one of those things. Because I remember when I saw it, and then when I saw the news, and I was looking at the stuff, I was like, damn, because I looked at this game, I'm like, this is my kind of game. Why have I only heard about it from this? Of all things to hear it about, like hear from it about. I was like,
yeah.
It's just a shitty situation. So yeah. Man, I don't know what to say. Let's change the pace. Let's change the tone. That's it now. No more sadness. Let's get out of it because last thing we need is just sad boy hour. Let's not do that. Let's pick up the pace. Let's try and talk about DNF, right? Because this is the game that Kyle keeps looking at me going, "You never did that beta video, Ethan." And I'm like, "Yeah, I didn't."
I'm just saying, you have another chance to make it relevant. Dude, I just need to change a few words in that script, and we can be in business, dude.
Editing takes me so long, dude. It'll genuinely take me like 2 weeks, and then it'll be irrelevant again. But we'll see. We'll see.
Right,
but anyway,
just repurpose it for the full game.
Just write your review now, Fivehead, and then we'll just put it up with the embargo, dude, even though we haven't played it. Yeah, think about it. We don't even, we can
Put it up with
post
all
it.
the other reviews.
We could put it an hour before the embargo because we're like, we didn't even get the game, Fivehead. We're just giving our review based on the beta. Fucking gigabrain. Wow. Take that, review outlets. But no.
Got until June 28th to get it done.
let's get to work. So anyway, DNF Duel
Chop chop.
had another beta.
It did.
Kyle obviously played the first beta. Hunter, you joined in for the fun on this second beta.
I think I joined him in on the phone in the first one too.
Oh, did you?
We played literally one game.
Yeah,
and then
that's
the
the
servers
fun.
went down for maintenance because they didn't
Yeah.
freaking work.
Sounds like a fighting game. That sounds like a fighting game. So anyway, how are you feeling, Kyle? Obviously, you gave your impressions, I think, initially on the podcast when the first beta came out.
I don't think I did.
Oh, did you
I
not?
don't think I ever did.
I thought
I
you
think this
did.
is like the one game that kept like eluding getting
Oh,
on the
okay.
podcast.
It's like how I didn't actually talk about Hades until I made the review.
Wait, really? God,
Yeah, I
this
didn't
is
talk
like-
about Hades on the podcast. We always had something else to say.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I think I didn't talk about it that's why I made the first impression script was because I wouldn't have been able to talk about it. Because
Huh.
the first beta came out around like Christmas time.
It did.
Around
It was
Spider-Man
around
time.
December. It was around Spider-Man
So-
time. Fucking hell.
That's what I remember, dude. I
That's
played
what you
DNF
remember.
one day, and then I went to go see Spider-Man the next day.
I see. I didn't play DNF one day, and then I waited 2.5 months to go and watch Spider-Man like a true champion. Had it all spoiled, and then went in disappointed because that's the way to watch Spider-Man, guys. What the fuck? Twitter spoiled it for me 2 months ago, and they were right. What is this? I hate it. But no, so you didn't give your impressions of DNF Duel because it's one of those things where I've heard your opinions already because you talked about it when in December just casually. So
Yeah.
I guess go run it through then. What's DNF? What's the deal, dude? I hate fighting games, so try and sell me.
Yeah, so DNF, it's based off of like a Korean MMO called Dungeon Fighter Online, where they basically took the classes from that game and repurposed them into fighting game characters. And it works out super well. Characters are all super cool looking. The game itself looks really pretty. Animations are really smooth. And everything just looks nice. Characters are all super expressive.
That's actually a really cool way of doing it, though. I love these
Yeah.
spin-off games. Like it's like how League's obviously doing it as well, and it's just it's such a good idea to take franchises where you have these iconic characters already, and then just turn it into something else, like with fighting games or whatever. I'm like, if you can do it and make a damn good fighting game with it, well, it's like Persona 4 Arena. It's like I don't care about Persona, but that's a really cool looking fighting game. And they've already got the iconic characters because it's from a franchise that's already worked well in the video game like ecosystem. So yeah, it's super cool. I did not know it
Honestly,
came from a
like-
Korean MMO.
Like, after seeing Ruby characters in Blaze Blue Tag Battle, I really just want, like, a full Ruby fighting game now.
Dude,
That
that
would
would
be
be
interesting.
sick, man. Because
Especially,
like the
the
double
characters are pretty much designed for that.
Yeah, and like the weapons all have two functions. That would be amazing.
I mean, it's getting an anime, so now's the time. Like that's like
Now is the time.
now's the time.
Way Forward's making a different game, but you know
They
maybe
are.
they could get Arc System to make a new fighting game
Yeah.
for them.
I mean, what's Op
that-
System doing? They're not doing anything else. Am I
They're
right?
They're doing
this.
DNF Duel.
They do every fighting game. They genuinely do.
They really
literally
do at this
everything
point.
Everything that isn't Mortal Kombat.
Genuinely.
Mortal Kombat, Street
Or
Fighter,
Street Fighter,
KOF, yeah.
Yeah. Or Sakurai in the corner making his party game, yeah, other than those.
Anything
rare
that doesn't
occurrences.
involve sprites, they're like, I'm out. I'm not touching that.
So anyway, it looks cool. It's got a cool concept.
Yeah,
It's based on
and-
a weird, not weird, but a cool MMO from Korea that we've never heard of, really. So,
Yeah, and the combat, like the gameplay, it's actually it's pretty much identical to Smash Bros. Combat.
oh,
where
really?
You have a neutral like a neutral special attack, and then directionals and a down special, where it's all just like at the push of a button, you're throwing out big attacks. So the gameplay is super simplified, which I think, you know, if you want to bring in the MMO crowd, I think that super helps.
Yeah.
And it's a very easy game to play
Mm-hmm.
just from the beta. doesn't take a lot to really, at least from my perspective, I don't know how you were feeling about it, Hunter, but it didn't really take long to be like, okay, I can do this, and this pretty
Yeah, I figured out
consistently.
being able to do things relatively quick after a time or two with the characters I was actually vibing with. You know, like, Kyle plays substantially more fighting games than me, and I'd still get a win over him here and there. So
Yeah.
it's not like completely one-sided in favor of skill ceiling and all that.
Yeah.
No, fair enough.
But also, I think probably the biggest thing is that, like, I really only played this beta for, like, Saturday, because after that I'm like, I kind of had my fill, and I'm just waiting for the full thing to come out.
Yeah.
After the first beta, I'd already pretty much made my opinion on the game, and this second beta didn't really do a lot to change that opinion.
Well, that's the thing with betas, is I think sometimes you can have a bit too much, and it kind of ruins the main game experience. I've had it from time to time, where it's like, I've played betas before, where I've played betas for that much over that period, that when the main game comes out, I hardly touch it. I remember what, like, literally, this is such a random tangent, but when Black Ops 4 came out, I was so addicted to that multiplayer beta that I played it all, like, basically, it was during university, I had nothing better to do, guys. I was so fucking bored. Not gonna actually do uni work, cringe. So I just played Black Ops 4, and I literally got to level cap in the beta, and then legitimately I put more time into that beta than the actual main game. I didn't touch multiplayer in that main game. I just played zombies and the battle royale. I got to like prestige 2 or something. I like hardly played it. And it's just like, I've definitely had it before where I've played a beta that much that when the main game comes out, I'm like, oh yeah, it's just like the beta.
Yeah.
I already had my fill in a weird way. And it's like, I 100%
Or in the
have
case
done that.
of those demos that have convinced you that you don't need to buy the full game.
Fucking bless Nintendo
with
for doing that,
Kirby,
dude. Fuck, bless you.
WarioWare and Kirby, yeah.
Bless you, Nintendo, from stopping me from buying games that I couldn't give a shit about. Thank you for that one. I appreciate it. But yeah, it's just like, so I get it. Set it down. You know if you're gonna play it or not. You know you're probably gonna buy it. So it's like,
I've already pre-ordered it, dude.
oh, jam. Pre-ordered?
And I don't pre-order shit.
When does it come out?
End of June,
28th?
June 28th.
Oh, June's so busy. Oh,
June's so busy.
it's got DNF Duel and AI the Somnium Files.
Yeah, within like 4 days of each other.
And nothing else. What a year, dude.
That's
2022,
when
the year
Splatoon 3's
of...
gonna drop.
Genuinely, I can't wait for Splatoon 3, dude. I'm praying for that game right now because I need a good multiplayer game. I need a good multiplayer game, dude. I genuinely do. It's a good time. 2017 was not a good time because I was in the middle of my Overwatch addiction anyway. 2022, Overwatch is dead to me.
2017 was also stacked with like some of the best single games of the generation.
Yeah, but here's the thing, right? I play single-player games alone by myself like a sad individual, right? I don't like talking to people. No maidens, right? So, when it comes to... So, I always like having multiplayer games on the background so I can talk to you guys. I can talk to my IRL friends. Don't have to care because I'm just playing a multiplayer game. Don't have to fully concentrate. And in 2017, I had so many of those games that I could play that I was like... Splatoon 2, I like played for like 100 hours, but I can guarantee about 50 hours of that was single player content because I'm such a sado. I played a lot of the Splatoon 2. In Splatoon 2, I was that sad. I played every single mission with every single weapon. Like I played all 25 missions with like all 6 weapon types or something ridiculous. It's like no life did, but it's like I just didn't have the interest for it. So 2022 is a great year.
Campaign in Splatoon 2. Now that I think about it,
I never even owned Splatoon 2.
Well, yeah, though at this point you might as well just wait to Splatoon 3. That's like the thing is like roll the dice, just wait till Splatoon 3. It's
like I've had the itch to want to play Splatoon, but I'm like, just wait for Splatoon 3 at this point.
That's what I'm like. I've been so tempted.
Isn't worth it.
I've been so tempted to just put 2 back in just to play it a bit. I'm like, no, just like that beta like analogy. Hold it off. Wait to play the full game. But yeah, no DNF. Like honestly, like DNF. Obviously, I'm not gonna play it because I hate fighting games. But like, I do like the idea of it, and I really like just looking from screenshots here. I really do love the art style.
Dude, the characters are really well designed. I like the way most of them look, except for Grappler, because he looks like a boring fighting game character.
Yeah.
But no, it's cool. It's cool. But yeah,
I do have issues with it, but I mean, this was just the beta. Lobby system is actually just the worst thing I've ever seen.
Can we just talk about how? Can we just talk about how? Oh, like, come on! Do they ever make a good fucking lobby system? Like every game of theirs that I've seen.
BB Tag had a good lobby system.
Yeah, but even
unfortunately, it had like 20 people in the player base.
But even that, they don't make it easy. It's not just like find game or anything like that. It's just like, here's a weird quirky lobby where you're a pixel character, run around, find the fuckers. I'm like, just
when
press
I was trying to find
press
Kyle's
play.
lobby, I had to not only did he have to make like a specific set of rules so that I could cut down the number of people.
There wasn't just like a find a friend button.
Not only that, but also there were enough people with those same rules that he wasn't showing up, and I couldn't just scroll down. I had to re-up the search like 3 times to be able to find him.
It's like me and you when we were trying to play Bloodborne together, and it was like,
oh yeah,
here's the password, and it's like, that password isn't
don't worry,
working.
Ethan, I'm coming to help.
Yeah,
just 20 minutes later,
the password just didn't work, and it's like, God. You gotta love archaic systems. Just make a fucking lobby. It's not hard. Like, Smash doesn't work when you're in game, but at least the lobby works when you click join a friend.
Yeah.
It's all good though. Maybe they'll fix it, or maybe Ark will just do it in their next fighting game. They'll come out in 6 months because they seem to release them like clockwork at this point. But no. It's all good.
Yeah, I enjoyed what I played of it, and I'm looking forward to the full release. I have issues with the game, but hopefully those will get addressed. I feel like the game's kind of too easy, too simple, but oh well.
We'll see.
Also, Inquisitor is still cracked as hell.
Oh yeah, lady with the flame wheel.
That big ass fucking wheel she can just throw out for nothing, like, and then suddenly half the screen is blocked off. It's like, okay. I live streamed that like my 2 hours of the first day of the beta, and I popped off because I actually landed the Twitter combo.
The Twitter combo?
With like, so basically it's like you throw the big wheel and then you do a bunch of her moves and end it with the super. And I'm like, I actually nailed that in an online match. There was no training, by the way. I didn't practice that, and I hadn't touched this game since December.
Nice.
So just like the fact that I was able to do the Twitter combo after like an hour of playing the game, it felt good.
No, it's good. I don't know. I feel like fighting games have been in such a good place recently. Like, I feel like there's been so many decent fighting games coming out recently where
I honestly owe a lot of that to. I honestly feel like Guilty Gear has a lot to thank with Strive's release. Not only just for like what it did to the landscape of fighting games, but also what it did to online, kind of now forcing developers to have to implement rollback netcode.
There it is.
We said the gimmick, we can move on. We did it. We said the fucking term. We're free.
But like even older games of Arxis's, like BlazBlue Central Fiction and BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle, those were getting patches and updates.
They got Atlas to accept to add something new to their video game. They literally,
after like the game's out for like a month and then the rollback updates coming out.
Like, that's crazy to me, dude. Atlas is usually at least 7 years behind everybody else. So the fact that they accepted that, be grateful it was a month, Kyle. Be grateful it was a month. Yeah. I was expecting it in 2029, so it's all good. But now,
when Persona 5 comes to the Switch,
yeah, God, we're not talking about
clamoring for Persona 6 to be put on
there's
Switch.
News in April, boys. Who's ready to be disappointed? Get your
can't wait
copia
for
ready.
it to be the Teddy plush.
God,
finally.
I hope so.
The Teddy paddle.
The Teddy paddle.
I hope so.
And the Morgana kayak.
Morgana kayak. Instead of the bus.
Guys, it can't be as disappointing as last time, which I don't even remember what the announcement was for February. It was awful, wasn't
Same.
it? It was like the last day, and they just
It
were
was
like,
Which one was
terrible.
this? What was the live
Which
concert
wasn't
tour?
it just the rollback announcement?
I swear it was. What was the news? Oh no, it was the vinyl as well. They announced the vinyls as well. It's hard to look at it because the American website's that garbage. So I have to go to the Japanese one and then translate it into English. Oh, that was it. They announced the festival that's happening in Japan as well.
Oh yeah.
Classic.
I feel like if you're outside of Japan, these announcements just mean nothing to you.
You just take the L, dude. You do.
Because like they also announced like the concert for Japan. But it's like, okay,
Yeah, so they announced a festival. They
what
announced
does this have to do with me?
They announced an exhibition at a
It's not
museum.
always about you, America.
They announced a hotel collaboration with a certain
But I'm
Japanese
American.
hotel.
It's always about me.
It's true. They announced a collaboration with a retail store, and then they announced rollback netcode.
Junes collab? Hype.
No, and then merch. It was
Well,
really
finally,
nothing.
Junes is real.
So we'll see. April, what's going to happen? Disappointment, definitely. But what else? Who knows? Who knows?
Absolutely nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
They're gonna have one of those video game cafes themed like LeBlanc.
I genuinely can't wait till we get to that big one at the end, and it's not Persona 6. Can't ready. But I'm so ready because the amount of
Persona 3
copium,
on Switch.
the amount of copium we will all be fucking inhaling on that day will be so aggressive. Like honestly,
so fucking funny, dude.
please show up to that podcast in like November
gonna
or whatever.
laugh.
Because
Yeah,
genuinely-
honestly, it might be just really, really funny.
it might be the last episode of the podcast because I might have like a fucking like heart attack on the show live, like genuinely. But you know, it's all good. It's all fun. Enough about that. Let's talk about the Medium Hunter. You finally played it. It finally came to PS5, and after finally coming to PS5, you finally picked it up after months of it being on PS5.
It came to PS5 back in like September, but I didn't really have the time to play it at that point. So I played it now because, you know, backlog season now.
We're in the drought.
Review season is over. Backlog season has begun.
Yeah, basically. So
Keep staring at that Persona 5 box all behind me, like, oh, is it time? Fuck Elden Ring off, dude.
Yeah, I've been wanting to play the Medium for a while, and, you know, now's as good a time as any.
Mm-hmm.
And so I can understand how it got the review scores it got, but also it's more in the sense of I don't think it's bad, it's just not something that's for everyone. Like, I still think that it had interesting things about it. For example, like, its delivery could have been better, but I like it more than I liked Ghostwire, where I feel aggressively nothing towards. And I think there are actually some really neat ideas in this game. It's just the way they gave them to you could have been done better. It wasn't as creepy as one might hope. Like, I don't know, there were a couple things that would
Is
make
that
you
a good-
guys...
Yeah, is that a good analogy? Hunter, you literally sit there and you're just like, ah, yes, and just don't fucking flinch at anything. Like, genuinely. Like, you
Okay,
you
yeah.
literally...
Now that I think about it,
The spooks.
now that I think about it, there are a couple of things in the game that would have made you two squirm. Like, in the spirit world, there are these like walls of flesh that you have to pass them. You have to get this razor blade and like cut the skin.
No.
You see, the thing is, it almost looks kind of goofy because it barely even like bleeds or anything.
It kind of looks like kind of goofy, guys. It's like,
So then the skin's just kind of like
it's all
rubbery.
flabby. It's just all it's
Yeah.
just all like flabby, dude. And it's like there's just like blood everywhere. And you're like, that's so not.
There was no blood. That was half
That's
the
so
problem.
quirky.
That's gone quirky, guys. You shit yourself, but no one else. I'm too tough, dude. This is baby stuff. Dude.
This reminds me of one of the things Ethan said about AI was that it was really gory, and I was like, yeah, I guess it'd be hard to recommend to someone who's like squeamish about eye violence. And then he brought up like 6 other things. I'm like, oh right,
Yeah,
I guess that's true.
You're like, oh yeah, eye violence. I'm like, there's literally mutilation, Hunter, and you're just going, ah, yes, the eyes, dude. The
Okay,
eyes.
but like eyes are like one of those things that people like have a specific freak out towards sometimes. You know,
I'm actually fine
Yeah.
with eyes, to be honest. I'm fine with eyes.
fair enough.
No. I'm fine with that. But, you know, it just makes me laugh because we can never use you as a good comparison to is a horror game scary? Because if you say yes,
if I
that
ever
means
do
it's like
say
the
it is
scariest
scary,
thing of all
then
time.
you,
yeah.
And it's a good horror game.
Yeah, because everyone, I feel like we need like a second opinion of, okay, let's go to the baby bit. Show hello. How scary is it? Oh, it's scary. Good to know. Because Hunter was just like, yeah. If anything, it was a comedy, guys, from my perspective. Was I supposed to be screaming? I was too busy laughing. Wow.
Yes, I am what you might call desensitized.
So anyway, I cut you off. I apologize.
I still
saying?
like the game. I'm not upset that I played it. One thing it's really good at rendering like foliage. That was something that is a weird detail that stuck out. But like you walk through a bunch of forested areas and they look really good, man.
Yo, that tree though, that bush, oh shit. That's a good plant in my horror game. No, that's to be fair, it's like the Medium is one of those games where I remember it coming out and then I heard nothing after. Like genuinely nothing. Like it was one of those games. And
yeah.
it got fine reviews. It got like a 77 or something. It was like middle of the road, right? It was like
Yeah.
average. And it's like I don't know. I just didn't. To me, it just didn't seem to light the world on fire, and that seems to be what you're trying to say as well.
Yeah, like they were clearly trying to be evocative of like Silent Hill and stuff. Like even like their whole gimmick was you're experiencing two worlds at once because she's like a spirit medium, so you're dealing with like the spirit world and the physical world at the same time. Like it splits the screen, and you're like looking at her, going through both. I think that would have been. First of all, it felt like something I would see on the Nintendo DS.
Oh, top screen, bottom screen, dude. Top screen, bottom screen. Hey.
I think it would. I think that gimmick would have worked better if it was just kind of like you toggle the spirit vision or whatever, and you see things differently that way.
Yeah, or hear me out. I feel like this would have been a really good use of the thing Ratchet and Clank did, which I think we can talk about now because that game's old. The planet swapping where. Kyle, I don't know if you know this. There's a literal.
I don't know anything about Ratchet and Clank.
There's a planet in Rift Apart where you hit crystals and it literally turns the whole planet into a completely different planet, and it's instant on the PS5. Like,
the funny thing,
there's no trickery. It's swapping the entire planet in and out within seconds, and it's
there are
really
segments
cool.
that do things like that too. Like you go through a mirror and suddenly you're just in the spirit world, and you don't have to worry about your physical body for a minute. But
yeah,
it's only here and there. And, like, the Silent Hill influence there comes from the fact that, like, at least in the first two, a lot of the levels that you'd go through it, and then there would be, like, you'd hear the siren, and it'd get all spooky, and you'd go to the Otherworld version of it, where it gets even wackier.
Yeah.
So, I see what they were trying to do. They were like, what if you just got to experience both parts of that at the same time? And it was a valiant effort, but I think it could have been done a little better. Once I got towards the end, I really liked the final stretch of the game, to be honest. Like, it took a while to get to the point where I was, like, actively caring, but once I did, I'm like, oh, man, the delivery wasn't that bad at the end.
Yeah. I'm glad you actually played it, because like I said, I heard genuinely, like, nothing, mainly.
So, yeah, like, if you like horror games and are semi-interested in it, I'd say give it a whirl. If not, then this won't really be anything that convinces you otherwise.
There you go. Glowing review from Hunter. But there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. That is our talk on the Medium. Before we go, guys, let's talk about PS Plus. Let's do it. We missed it like 2 weeks ago. We'll fucking do it. We'll talk about it. Fine. Let's talk
no
about
other news
it.
happened in the week that we were gone.
Literally, we took a week off.
Hilariously enough, the HGO curse wouldn't have struck if we just did the episode.
They were like, hold on a second, guys. They didn't upload. So we'll just pause the news for a week. That Sony acquisition, we'll do that next Monday. Let's pause it, okay? Let's do it. But yeah.
There's gotta be some higher up watching this and just fucking with us.
Could you imagine?
At
Like,
this point,
could you imagine? It's like our community
Hi,
is really
Shuhei.
small. Yeah, our community is really small. It's like, you know, like 50 to 100 people, right? Imagine if one of them was like Herman Hulst and he's just sitting there shitting with us every fucking week. Like Herman,
Oh,
I
man,
swear
I
to
hope
God.
he likes the Persona, or not the Persona, the Horizon spoiler cast.
Yeah, you better give us Horizon 3. That's all I'm saying. But yeah. Let's talk about this so that when the new news does break on Monday, we're 2 weeks behind on the old news. So then we won't feel as bad when news breaks this Monday. Okay? Sounds good? Okay.
Sounds good.
So PlayStation Plus is revamping in June. And essentially, it's boiled down into 3 tiers. PlayStation Plus Essential, which I think is the stupidest fucking name ever, by the way. I get PlayStation Plus Extra, and I get PlayStation Plus Premium. What I don't get is, why do you call it Essential? Why don't you just keep calling it PlayStation Plus? That's my thing, is have PS Plus, then Extra, and then Premium. Fair enough. Why Essential? What's essential about it? If
Essential
anything,
to be able to play online.
in
I
fact,
don't know.
taking all the people with microphones out of my fucking life is probably more essential than having them. Is all I'm saying. But you know, it's all good. But anyway, it's split into 3 tiers. PlayStation Plus Essential is your generic PS Plus, where you get, it says 2 monthly downloadable games. We've been getting 3 so far, so I don't know if they're doing quality control on that, which I'd be happy for, because
If they just give us better ones.
one of the 3 games is always shit. Let's be real.
Yeah.
One of the 3 games no one cares about. It's like this.
A lot of the times it's 2 out of 3.
Yeah, it's like this month. People like Slay the Spire. It's an indie game that people love. Give you that one. SpongeBob, I'll give him that one. Family game, and sad fuckers like me are gonna play SpongeBob. I'll give him that one.
Yeah.
Hunt's Outlaw, whatever. I'm never touching.
Dude, I
never
thought we
play.
got this already, but I realized it was just that other generic multiplayer game about stealing stuff. Like Hunter's Arena or whatever.
Yeah, Hunter's Arena, dude.
That was like 2 months ago or whatever. I thought that was this.
It's fine. Remember when we got Bug Snacks? That was a great month. But ever since then, it's downhill.
Where's Big Snacks?
Where's Big Snacks, young horses? I'm watching you. Where is it? But yeah, so you're getting 2 monthly games, exclusive discounts, cloud storage, online multiplayer, no changes. Fine with that. I don't think anybody's going to complain about that. To be honest, it's the same. They've not raised the price. They've not done anything. Next one is Extra. So, Extra is basically PS Now, but without the retro shit, is basically what they're doing. Is PS4 and PS5 games, you get a vault of 400 of PS4 and PS5 games that you can just download and play. That is it. And it costs $100 a year. How much is base PS Plus? 60?
60.
That's actually not bad. I didn't know the prices of these. I didn't even look up the prices. $40 a year is not bad. Well, let's talk about some of these games, by the way. So if you're a Kyle of the world and you don't buy games on day one, this might actually be a decent deal for you, because if you're paying that $40 extra a year, you'll start getting access to games like Death Stranding, God of War, Marvel Spider-Man, and Miles Morales, Mortal Kombat 11, and Returnal. Returnal's the interesting one.
Returnal?
Yes,
Wow.
Returnal will be on Extra. So, to me, this is, if you're the kind of person that doesn't buy games straight away, because I think that Sony's going to probably release their stuff on this service. I was talking to a friend. My guess is between a year and 2 years after launch, based on how successful the game is. So if you're the kind of person that doesn't buy a game until like a year out, $40 a year extra to get access to all these games, not a fucking bad deal, to be honest.
Yeah, for the price of what you would pay for like one thing a year later, you could have like dozens.
Yeah, genuinely. Especially if you're already buying PS Plus. Obviously, if you're not a PS Plus subscriber, if you don't play online games, it's a bit of a harder ask, right? $100 a year. Yeah. But if you're already paying the $60 a year for Plus, that $40 stretch to be like, oh, I haven't played Returnal, and Returnal's always full price still because it's a PS5 game, right? So it's like, I get to play that for basically $40, and then anything else for that year, it's basically on the house in terms of my eyes, so it's not a bad deal in my opinion anyway. And then the final one is plus premium. Now, this is the hardest stretch, $120 a year. Oof. You get access to PS1, PS2, and PS3 streaming. No downloads, guys. No PS... Sly 4 is still trapped on that fucking cursed console. And so is everything else. But you do get cloud streaming access to PS3 games and a catalogue of classic games available for download and streaming on PS1, PS2, and PSP. So $20 extra on top of that, you get fucking Gex. What a ride.
Gex.
Dude, I'm just thinking about like if I bought that Surface, and then you're like, all right, Kyle, in like the pre-show meeting, you're like, all right, Kyle, what'd you play this week? I'm like, oh,
Gex.
I played some Die Hard on the PS1.
Die Hard.
Nothing big.
Yeah.
Played Tetris.
Oh, I played Tetris. That's great.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
So you get access to that. This is where cloud streaming lives now. For that $100 you don't get streaming of the PS4 and PS5 games. You're fucking fine without it, to be honest. Because if you have who's picking streaming over download if you have the console?
Who does
just download that?
Yeah.
You're a monster, dude. You're a monster. To be fair, PS Now streaming is actually not that bad anymore. It's pretty decent. It's probably the best. Out of all the ones that I've tested, it's probably the best. But it's still not great. Yeah, it's still not great. But it was that much of a train wreck when I first tried it in 2015. I think I was just shocked at how competent it was, that it probably is just fine. It's not even probably great.
Yeah.
But it was that much of a glow up. I was like, oh, damn. Okay, fair enough. Still not great, though. But then you also get time-limited game trials. Can try selected games before they buy. This is going to be a hit or miss thing. If they allow you to say try third-party games out before they come out or on release day to see if you like them, this might be a game changer for me personally, because that means I can stop buying fucking video games for first impressions that I do not like.
Yeah, you got a point there.
But yeah, so that's that. And to me,
Ghost of Tsushima.
that if Ghost of Tsushima was on there, we would have saved $60. Wow, what a riot! But no. So I think this, like, I have PS Now already, so I will have PS Plus Premium, so I'll be giving it a very in-depth review when it comes out in June.
If you get it now, the alleged thing is that it will roll over, and you can still go and buy, like, a year of it.
Yeah.
Or you could, as of last week.
You could, as of last week. I don't know if it still works. But that's what I did, so I have it till October 2023, so I'll have plenty of time to play all 5 PS1 games on the service.
I can't believe 3 of them are going to be Gex.
Oh yes, but it's honestly
us the full review of the Gex trilogy.
It's honestly going to be down to what games are actually available on this service.
Yeah,
because they have such a chance to put such really great video games on here, like genuinely. Oh well, PS3 titles are streaming. Fine, put the original Sly trilogy on the PS2 side. Put the original Ratchet trilogy. Don't have us play the PS3 streaming versions. Put the classics out there so that you can download them if that's your problem.
Mm-hmm.
The Crash Bandicoot trilogy should be on there. So should the Spyro trilogy. Metal Gear should be on this fucking service.
Yes. God,
Yes.
let me play Metal Gear Solid on something that isn't the PlayStation 3.
Yeah. Genuinely. Silent Hill should be on here. Tomb
Yes!
Raider should
Give me
be
a
on
way to
here.
play Silent Hill 3, please.
Persona, all of them should be on here. It's like, genuinely, give us a fucking competent way to play all of them, please. I don't care. Just give us a way to play P3 without a PS3, please. That isn't, because in Europe...
Or an emulator.
It just doesn't exist. It doesn't exist in Europe. It doesn't exist. P3P, give us that. Literally, so many games that could be on this service. All those RPGs. Yeah, fuck it, bring Chrono Cross over as the real thing. Like, just bring
It'd
that
probably
back.
be fucking better, dude.
Probably, yeah.
It's just,
But,
to me, it's like, honestly, it could be worth that extra $20 if the library is actual good games. But will it be? Or will this be Nintendo Switch Online?
yeah. What they say, like 400? So
340 additional games from that library for PS1, 2, PSP, and PS3.
Okay. So
What's 340 divided by 4? What is that? 85.
Yeah. I feel like you could get a reasonable amount of 80, especially like PSP games. Like, were there 85 notable PSP games in the first place? Probably
Daxter,
not.
P3P. Was
The
there a
2
Gex?
God of War games.
Was there a Gex?
Secret Agent Clank. Yeah, Daxter, Ratchet and Clank Size Matters.
Dissidia Final Fantasy Duodecim.
Oh yeah, Dissidia.
Crash Tag Team Racing, the classic.
You could reasonably
On the
bring over
PSP
like most of the
specifically.
PSP's library.
Yeah.
Notably, like honestly, I feel like you could hit most of them. Like PS3, I feel like that didn't have much. You wouldn't have to
here's
stretch
the thing,
too hard.
right? Here's the thing is, I feel with PS Now, they're going to move a lot of those PS3 games over. So, in my heart of hearts, I could easily see 200 of those games being PS3 streaming that they've already carried over from PS Now. I can just see that happening. But, even then, that could still be 50 PS1 games, 50 PS2 games, and 40 PSP games.
Yeah.
And even that, I'll take it, because unless they choose, like, the 50 worst PS1 games to put on there, like
what they did with the
PS
PS1 Classic.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like the PS1 Classic. As long as they're not hitting me with like, I'm trying to think of an.
But you know,
Bugs
even the
Life
PS
video game.
Oh no, that's got to be on there, dude. That's got to be on there.
is it?
Monsters Inc. Scare
Scooby-Doo
Island,
and the
dude.
Cyber Chase.
Where is it? Where is it, Sony?
PS2
Where
has
is
the
it?
Finding Nemo game.
Oh baby, I'll go finally beat that.
No, I have a vivid image in my head of fucking, is it Nemo, where he's got the fucking like coloured like pearl under
Yeah,
his
he's got
arm
the colored
swimming,
stone
dude.
in his little
Yeah.
fin. Yeah.
I fucking hate that video game so much.
I think there's also a level where you get chased by Bruce.
I didn't get that far.
Fish
I was
are
too triggered.
friends, not food.
I think that's on the back of the box, Ethan.
Oh no, I do remember that. Yeah. Oh god, it was awful. Anyway, put it on the
It was
service.
awful. Put it on the service.
But it's like,
I like that we're like, put the good games on there, and then we just list off all the worst
all the
games we can
shittest
think
games.
of.
Please put Silent Hill 3
And also
on there.
Gex.
And Haunting Ground, please. I would like to play both of those without having to sacrifice a body part.
You know, Parasite Eve on there would be pretty cool.
Yeah, Parasite Eve is neat.
I'd like to finally play that without selling my soul.
I didn't
To get a
realize.
copy?
I didn't realize you were interested in Parasite Eve.
Oh, of course I am, dude. Square
yeah?
Enix owns it now.
Yeah, they've always owned it.
Oh yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Dude, put Legend of Dragoon on there also. That'd be dope.
Yeah, I agree. Whatever you were saying, I agree. You say Square Enix, I just zone out. I just go to the ether. Just goodbye.
Yeah.
You've lost me. But yeah,
Damn, the
So-
start of this podcast must have been rough for you.
it was, dude. I was like, where am I? What is this? What?
What's a Chrono Cross?
We do a podcast?
Why is the Chrono Crossing?
Oh my god.
To get to the other side.
But yeah, this is happening in June apparently. It'll start in Asia, it'll then move to you guys, and then it'll move to Europe and the rest of the world where PlayStation Plus is offered. They're hoping to have everything done by the end of June. So my guess is we'll probably be the last people to fucking have it in June. So hope you're ready for it to come out on June 1st, and for me to give my impressions of it on June 31st. Let's go, rise up. Actually,
love
June only
June
has 30.
31st.
Yeah, so it's 30. But I'm like,
Damn it, he realized it before I could make the
Yeah.
joke.
I'm just in there. I'm internally in my head going January, February, March, April, May, June. Fuck.
My God. Fuck! Oh god, no!
Yeah, and then also we should specify this, that if you do not have PS Now cloud streaming available in your country, then you'll get a fourth option, which will replace Premium, which is PlayStation Plus Deluxe, which is just the same thing, cheaper without game streaming. That's basically what you get. So there must be a substantial
I take
amount.
that anyway. Come on.
There should be a substantial amount of PS1, PS2, and PSP games then, if they are willing to
if they're willing
make
to
a third
just-
tier without the PS3 games in certain territories. There's got to be something there, at least.
Yeah.
At least
I don't know.
Gex.
As long as their PS2 selection is better than what we got for their PS2 on PS4 program.
Dude, there's 14 games. There's got to be
14.
more than 14 games.
Yeah.
Sony at least owns 14 more games. So come on, think about it.
Like, you only need to even put up like half of the ones that you had on the PS4. Like, you had Dark Cloud, Max Payne, Bully. That's all you put up, like random other stuff.
Gex Enter the Gecko, dude. Spyro Enter the Dragonfly. T-Walk. There we go. That's all we need.
T-Walk.
That's all we need.
And Scooby-Doo.
And Scooby-Doo, dude. And Kim Possible's What's the Switch for the PS2. And Spy vs.
No, that
Spy,
belongs on the
dude.
Switch.
That
It's
was
in
a
the title.
No. It
What
doesn't.
else? Put on Neopets the Darkest Fairy also.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. And also, Sony, make them be able to... Oh, I've just realised. If SharePlay works with these PS2 games, it will do, because it counts as a second controller. Put fucking Tag Team and Nitro Kart on there, dude. Let's do it. Let's rise up. We can play SharePlay. Let's do it.
Hype.
Oh, that'll be sick. It's a shame it's going to be garbage video games that no one cares about. Can't wait.
Dude,
Genuinely
the
can't
Shrek
wait.
2 video game, we can finally do 4-player multiplayer.
Imagine.
Finally.
Just
The dream is real.
Just as God
The
intended.
only Final Fantasy game that's going to be on there is the Dirge of Cerberus.
Oh, I
hell
hope
yeah,
so, dude.
The only
Get us
Kingdom
all
Hearts...
excited for Remake Part 2.
For nothing, I might actually, if I had already gotten the service that was hanging out, I might just spend. It can't possibly be that long of a video game. Certainly.
It's not like it can't be more than like 20 hours. There's no way.
If it hits 20 hours, I don't know how I could do that. It's a third-person shooter.
Of a side character from FF7, like
There's not exactly much on the talking.
yeah.
Oh well.
But he is a cool vampire demon with a gun.
Yes.
God, I can't wait to see him in Remake.
Oh, he's gonna look so cool.
He's gonna
Just
be
5
so
more
hot,
years
dude.
to go. But yeah, let us know what you guys think of this whole PS Plus thing. That's been 2 weeks. Are you planning on getting it? I'm gonna be stuck with it for at least a year and a half, so I hope it's good. I'm gonna play Returnal. Oh wait, I did that. I'll just do you think I can use
Play
that to
Spider-Man
buy the
again.
play Spider-Man again? Don't say that to me, because I will be the sad person that will use it as, oh, the PS4 version of Miles Morales is on there. Cool, let me download the shitter game so I can get the trophies again. I will do that.
Oh my God.
You can't stop
I know
me.
you would.
Oh, trust me, I'm
cannot.
already planning on doing it. Don't you worry. I'm eyeing it up. I'm already eyeing it up. That's what I'm going to do this Christmas. It's going to be great. In 30 FPS, 1080p. Can't wait. Let's go.
Dude, Kyle, if they put the Xenosaga games on there, I could play those without sacrificing my
Oh, now
organs.
you're just chatting shit, dude. Now you're just
That's
chatting
never
shit.
gonna
That's
happen,
not.
dude.
Let's be
It'd be great
realistic,
if it
dude.
did.
You've got
I'd
more
pop
chance.
off if it
dude.
did.
Yeah, you've got more chance of Gex.
But it's
being
never
in
gonna
there,
happen.
Dude. Genuinely, Gex does have a higher chance.
But if Xenogears and Xenosaga do come there, y'all should play them. I've
Maybe.
heard they're pretty good video games.
I wouldn't know.
Gears had an appearance on the PS1 classics Hoopla on the PS3, so I wouldn't be too shocked if
Yeah.
that showed
In
up.
America, it did, yeah. In Europe, you got
America.
nothing.
America.
Blues.
Europe, we get nothing. It's all good. It's all good. We never
mean-
get anything.
That game never came to Europe anyways.
Half the games didn't that back then. It's fine.
It's true, they really did.
Sly Raccoon.
We got Sly Raccoon, dude. It's all good.
And Spyro Gateway to Glimmer.
No, I love Gateway to Glimmer. That's a great title, dude. Fuck you. all,
That's just
dude.
the only other one I could think of.
Ripto's Rage, dude, sounds so aggro. It sounds so fucking edgy
Well,
90s.
Isn't
dude.
Ripto the bad guy? Of course he'd be rageful.
Yeah. But Gateway to Glimmer just sounds like a fun adventure. It's like, oh, Spyro's found the gateway to Glimmer, dude. Whereas it's Spyro 2. Bad guy Angie. Oh, wow, dude. What a riot. I'm so excited. We did keep Year of the Dragon, though, so, you know.
Enter the Dragonfly.
It's like Ratchet Deadlocked as Ratchet Gladiator here.
That's a weird change.
I know, right? Who knows why? Also, Ratchet and Clank 2. What is it? What's Ratchet and Clank 2 called? Locked and Loaded? What's Ratchet and Clank 2?
I didn't play them.
Ratchet and Clank 3, which is Up Your Arsenal, is just called Ratchet and Clank 3 here.
Which one was Going Commando? Was that 4?
That was 2. That was 2.
2?
That was 2. Here it's called Locked and Loaded, I think. Genuinely. Ratchet and Clank 2. I'm looking this up. Yeah, Ratchet and Clank Up Your Arsenal was just called Ratchet and Clank 3 in Europe.
Man, Europe was just wise to all of the
No, wait.
and didn't
But
want 'em.
yeah. But in Australia, they realised that it was an innuendo and went nice and called it Ratchet and Clank 3 Up Your Arsenal. They added it back in.
Oh, nice.
Because of course Australia did, because they're chads. Whereas Ratchet and Clank Going Commando was just called Locked and Loaded in here. We weren't allowed the innuendos until Quest for Booty.
Ah.
That's when we got it. When we got
Is that
Kraken
even an
Town.
innuendo? That just seems like it's a
Quest
right
for
what
Booty.
it says on the box.
Tools to Destruction was obviously, that was fine. What was it? Kraken Time, that was perfectly fine. Into the Nexus was just called Nexus. Don't know why.
That's weird.
Yeah. And then Rift Apart was still called Rift Apart. So there you go. And with that, guys, that has been your education on the Ratchet and Clank differences in names between PAL and NTSC. Aren't you lucky? I love a good way to fill the end of an episode, you know? I just love to get that audience retention.
Talking nonsense for no reason.
Hell yeah. But no, we'll leave it here. As always, guys, our links are on screen right now. You can go and follow us on Twitter and keep up to date with everything we do outside of the show. But hey, if you don't want to keep up to date with us, that's cool too. You can go and follow us on Twitter at HotGamersOnly, or subscribe to the YouTube channel at youtube.com/HotGamersOnly. And hey, if you don't want to look at our stupid faces, that's cool too. You can head to your favorite podcast service, search for Hot Gamers Only on your favorite podcast service like Spotify or Apple Podcasts. What are you guys doing? I can't see you because we're doing the bit.
I don't know. I guess I got further ahead in your monologue than I thought you were.
Hunter was just standing in a JoJo pose waiting for you to say the line.
Which line? The stupid faces?
Just the face
If
thing.
you don't want to look
because
at our stupid faces.
They can't
Because I
see
did
you
it.
though, and I can't see you because I have it doing it live now.
I know. That's never stopped me before.
I hate them.
This is purely a joke for Kyle, I think, at this point.
Well, there's no way for me to see it, and there's no way for the audience to see it because it's baked into the recording.
I didn't know that we don't do show faces at the end anymore.
We've made a joke about this before, like that that I do this for the benefit of literally nobody but my own amusement, really,
Yeah,
because
it's
the
literally
audience doesn't see
It's
it.
just you sitting in the corner. Even I don't see it. This is an in-joke that even I'm not privy to. Like, genuinely. Ugh. You two, I'll just leave you two to it. But no, that's been our show. Thank you ever so much for listening / watching. We'll be back same time, same place next week for more. But yeah, until then, have an awesome week. Yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye.
See ya.
Toodaloo.